Hey, what's up guys? Michelle here. Welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, we are actually going to be doing something fun, kind of like a first impressions type of video. I wanted to use makeup that I haven't used in a while or I haven't used at all. I feel like I use the same products in all of my videos. And yeah, I used some new products, as you guys, I'm pretty sure you guys saw on the title up top. And also some other new goodies that I hated. Say the least, I had to fix a lot of things in this makeup tutorial. A lot of things went wrong, so you guys are just gonna have to wait and see. I am supposed to be going out with my friends today. This is why I did my makeup, and now they just kind of like sold me out, which I'm kind of happy about, because you know, like when you make these plans with your friends and you're excited, then the day actually comes and you're like, I don't think I want to go. And yeah, enough rambling. I'm gonna do enough talking in this video. So if you would like to see how I achieve this kind of summer bronzy night out type of look, just keep on watching and let's get started. Hey, what's up guys? Hey, how are ya? I'm back to life, a little off the track. It's been a week since Vegas, since EDC, and I'm trying to get back to the gist of things. I honestly haven't felt like this, like that like post-festival depression thing since like my first festival like ever. Like it's a really, really weird feeling, and then in Miami it's been raining for the past like whole month. So it's been really, really weird. I've been kind of like in this weird funk, but I told myself that's it. It's time to film. Now for today's video, I wanted to try out new makeup, new goodies. I feel like I use the same makeup all the time in all of my videos. So I went to Ulta and bought a new palette and a foundation to try out today. So I'm really excited. I also did one eye off camera because again, I would just much rather know where I'm going than take hours on end like filming, and nobody has time for that, and I'm not up for that frustration, not at all. For today's video, I'm sure you guys see by the title of the video, I'm using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Soft Glam palette. I know I'm a little late on the train, but I was at Ulta and I was like, none of the palettes really caught my attention, and they were like little mini palettes. I'm not into the mini palettes. Like, I like the whole like new thing. And I heard the formula for these shadows were just like the Modern Renaissance ones, which you guys know Modern Renaissance palette is like my ride or die forever, so I was pretty excited, so I decided to why not give it a try. But yeah, so to get started, I'm just gonna go ahead and kind of prep my eye. I already did my brows off camera. I wanted to use a different product than what I usually use on my brows, but honestly, again, I was at Ulta and I couldn't find anything that really caught my attention or something that I haven't tried. My tried and true, like I just always use this, is my NYX micro brow pencil. This always works for me. I love how it's like really, really thin and it helps me be like really precise. I feel like with chunkier like pencils, my eyes are already thick and they just end up looking like Sharpie brows, and I'm already not good at brows as it is, so I need like a really, really thin eyebrow product to really help me do my brows. Oh my god, it's so hot in Florida. I don't know why I didn't do this like off camera. Like this is the biggest waste of time ever. And to be completely honest, you guys know I'm not a huge fan of doing like talk through videos because I tend to just blab on and on and on and on and on and never get to the actual point. And then my videos end up being like super long. But I would much rather do a talk through at this moment than do a voiceover. I'm just not in the mood, and these are a lot easier to edit as well. So I'm talking today. Does anybody else get post-festival depression, or like when you were really looking forward to something and then it just like you waited so long for it and then it finally happened and you had the time of your life and then it's over and it's kind of like what do we do now? That's how I feel. I don't know what the fuck I'm saying. Okay, so to get started, I'm just gonna go ahead and use a really, really light transition shade. I'm gonna go in with the shade Orange Soda. Now this is kind of like a peachy kind of nude, this shade right over here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and go in with my Morphe E27 brush and the shade Orange Soda. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that all over, just so I can kind of get the neutral kind of white powder from the translucent powder kind of away, just so I don't get that kind of white cast right under my brow. I like to go in with a kind of neutral transition shade and then with a much darker transition shade. And then I like to go in with a much darker transition shade right under them. And then for a much darker transition shade, just to start darkening it up, I'm gonna go in with the shade Burnt Orange. Now I know this shade is in the Modern Renaissance palette. Now I don't know why exactly they tend to put the same shadows on different palettes, but I mean, and then I'm just gonna go ahead and start blending that out around my crease area with my Morphe E22 brush. I have my friends here texting me because I agreed to go out, and then it always happens. The day comes and I'm like, And then to bring some color into the eye, I'm gonna go in with my Morphe M505 brush and the shade Sienna. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that right on my crease. And focus that more towards the outer third of my eye, and anything that is left on the brush, I'm gonna go ahead and bring it into my inner corner. And like I said before, when it comes to blending out your eyeshadow, the closer you have your hand to the brush, so let's say like this, you're obviously not gonna have as much control, and you're gonna basically be blending out that shadow in that one area, so it kind of looks like a big blob. The more you go behind, so let's say you go all the way at the end, you're gonna have a much lighter hand, and it's gonna look a lot more blended and a lot more seamlessly blended, and it's not gonna look like this like rough patch of like eyeshadows. So I always recommend to just kind of stick neutral, like more towards the end to the middle, and that way you're gonna get the perfect blend. And then to start darkening up that crease, I'm gonna go in, actually not with this brush. This brush is terrible. There's no way. Don't you just hate when you lose brushes when you're literally just using them? Oh my god. So I'm gonna go in with my Morphe M507 brush with the shade Mulberry. That's more of like a kind of dark brownish cranberry shade, and I'm going to start putting that on my outer third right there in my socket of my crease. So I like to kind of pat it in and then blend it out. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of bring that in as well. So I'm gonna focus that right here in the socket of my crease. If you ever don't know exactly where the socket of your crease is, I know it sounds dumb, but honestly, some people just don't know. I didn't know exactly what the socket of your crease was. But if you ever have like any doubt, just get like a brush and just kind of like feel out the shape of your eye, and most likely where the shape of your eye is, like right here. The little turn is, that's how you'll know exactly where your crease is. And now I'm gonna go ahead and cut my crease, and I'm gonna tell you guys exactly how to map out where is the perfect way to map out your crease, especially if you have hooded eyes like I do. I'll show you my little trick in a second. Just let me finish blending this out. Because it's really important to know exactly where your crease is when you're doing your makeup, because you don't want to go too high up with the dark shadows to give that depth to your eye. That's how you end up getting that kind of like bruised black eye, raccoon eye, and it kind of looks like it's just one big color. You want to know exactly where your crease is just so you know exactly where to stop. I feel like I said exactly way too many times. And then with any left product that is on the brush, I like to kind of go a little bit above my crease and just kind of blend it out just so the other transition colors and that color kind of mix in together, and it makes a beautiful seamless kind of like blend. I'm gonna go ahead and cut my crease. Now for my ladies that have hooded eyes, what I like to do when it comes to cutting my crease, kind of obviously starting out, and then I like to go in with a Michaels detail paintbrush. These are like $2 and they're the best for when it comes to mapping out your crease or small details on your face. I love it. Just go, if you don't have a Michaels in the area where you live, just honestly go to any craft store and get like the little tiny paintbrushes. There's nothing like it. I honestly love this brush. So what I like to do is kind of put down my head and look up, and then lift my head back up again. And then what the concealer is going to do is kind of mark out exactly where your crease is. It'll literally, like, you look crazy, but it marks it out for you. And then from there you can kind of use it to map out the rest of your eye, so that way you know when you open your eyes, you can still see that shadow. I feel like a fucking Spice Girl with this hair. Perfect, beautiful. And now for the shimmer shades for the lid, I'm gonna go in with the shade Bronze. That's like the first color that kind of caught my eye. And I'm gonna use the Sonia Kashuk synthetic brush. Synthetic brushes are really good when it comes to putting on pigments and shimmery shadows, because since it is fake bristles, it kind of catches them a lot better than if you use like a natural haired brush. Like if you try doing that with, let's say, this brush. They look really, really similar, but this is more of like a natural hair bristle than a synthetic one. So a natural hair bristle one will kind of make the shadow fall out, and it won't seem as like stuck together and pigmented like you want it. So it's always good to use a synthetic brush when it comes to putting on shimmery shadows to get the best color payoff. And then what I'm gonna actually do is mix 3 shimmer shades together, but I like to use one as kind of like the base and then go in with the others. Now also with the concealer, I did not use a translucent powder to set it, because I like to just go in with the shadow, because that way it just sticks onto the eye a lot better. So then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go in with the shade Sultry, which is the darkest shimmery shadow, and I'm gonna basically put it right over here in the edges where the gold shadow kind of ends. And then I'm gonna flip my brush around, I'm gonna wet it again, and I'm gonna go in with the shade Fairy, which is a really, really light gold. And I'm gonna put that right there on the inner corner, just so we can really like open up our eyes. Okay, so now that we got that done, before we finish the eye, I wanna go ahead and do a winged liner. For lighting today, I'm using my Pretty Vulgar eyeliner in the ink Black List, and this is a gel liner. It's so creamy. Most gel eyeliners tend to dry up really fast, and when you go to put it on your eye, especially if you're like me, I have wrinkly eyes, when I go to put it on, it kind of like, but this one just glides on smoothly. Like it kind of reminds me of like the scene in Mulan when they put on eyeliner and it goes like that's what I feel like it is. Okay, so now that we got that winged eyeliner on, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of smoke it out with some black eyeshadow. I'm gonna go in with the shade Noir from in the palette, and I'm gonna go in with my Morphe M432 brush. You can find this brush at your local Ulta for like $2, and this brush is so good for when it comes to cleaning your brows and your lower lash line and smoking out wing eyeliner. Like this brush can be used for so many things. It's honestly one of my favorite brushes. So I'm just gonna go ahead and dip that lightly into the black shadow. For sure, this black shadow is legit. Like it's so freaking dark, it's so good. And then what I'm gonna do is just kind of go in and start lightly blending that shadow into the eyeliner. You don't want to go in with too much product, because then it's gonna go all over the place, and once you screw this up, there's no going back. I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, there's literally no going back. So you want to be really, really detailed and take your time with this, just so you can get your desired smoked liner. Okay, and then whatever is left on the brush, what I like to do is right there on your socket of your eye and your crease, I'm gonna drag whatever is left on the shadow right there, as you can see. So then I'm going to leave it there. Now I'm going to go back with my Morphe M507, and also anything that is left on the brush also helps. I'm just going to go ahead and lightly blend that out. Okay, so awesome. We are done with that eye. I'm going to go in with some concealer and the same detailed brush, and I'm just going to clean it out just so we can get a really, really sharp and precise winged look. So now we are done with our eyes. It's time to move on to the face. Like I said before, I want to use different products. So I feel like I always use the same products in every video, so I'm using, for the most part, different things. So for today, I'm going to be trying out the Cover FX Blurring Primer. This also came in my Boxy Charm for the month of May. So I'm going to go ahead and try this out. I'm going to put on a heavy amount. As you can see, it's kind of like a neutral color. It looks like a foundation shade. Oh, that feels really nice. Okay, so first impression, this honestly feels exactly like identical to the NYX Angel Veil Primer. Honestly, this is probably a little bit more hydrating than the NYX one, but This is exactly the same. And for today, for foundation, I'm using the Becca Ultimate Coverage 24-Hour Foundation. And this is in the shade Driftwood. So I don't know how new this is, but it said it was new at Ulta. My Ulta doesn't really update frequently, but I mean, whatever. Packaging is super cute. I feel like I got a really light one. And I'm actually going to be using a new sponge. I'm going to be using the Morphe sponge. Oh, Jaclyn Hill always uses this sponge and she makes it seem like so soft and nice on the skin, but to be completely honest, guys, it feels like kind of dense. Like it doesn't feel as soft as like a beauty blender. Like this reminds me of the Real Technique sponge, like literally identical, which isn't a bad thing, but I don't know, I guess we'll see. Okay, oh, that's way too light. Are you fucking kidding me? Okay, so yeah, this is definitely full coverage, that's for sure. It doesn't feel heavy at all. It feels actually really nice on the skin. Oh my god, I hate to say this, but guys, I really don't like this sponge. Like, I don't like this sponge at all. The only thing that I don't like is the fact that I got a too light foundation. Okay, so as you guys can see, I look a little crazy, but it definitely is a full coverage. It's a little more on the drier side now that I see it kind of drying out. It is very hydrating once you put it on the skin, but it does tend to dry out really, really fast. My god, we love a mess. So I think what I'm gonna do to kind of ruin this mess is I'm going in with my tried and true Maybelline Fit Me foundation in 335 Classic Bronze. This helps in moments like this when my foundations are too wet and I have to mix it in like this. This is my number one. So basically what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this in the areas that I would basically bronze my face and kind of use anything that is left on the sponge and kind of bring it down just to kind of bring color back to my face. Okay, so now that we brought color back into my face, I'm gonna go ahead and now conceal. And for concealer, I'm using my Makeup Revolution Conceal and Define Concealer, and this is in the shade C8. I would use my Tarte Shape Tape, but it'll probably be darker than my face. I love to bake right here, like right under my ear, because I feel like if you don't, when you put on your clothes or if you have a jacket on, you get your makeup all over your freaking clothes. So I like to really, really bake right under here and under my ear, just so I don't get my makeup on people or on my clothes. And now to bring some more color to the face, I'm going to go ahead and kind of bronze and contour. So I'm actually going to be using the Pure Sculptor palette. This also came in my Boxy Charm box for the month of May. So I'm going to go ahead and try this out. I'm actually going to go in first with the shade Inventor, which is a much lighter bronzy shade. Ooh, okay, she's pigmented. Okay, so it is a little bit chalky, but you can definitely work with it. Just have a light hand. Just have a very light hand. Okay, so that looks fine. I'm actually not gonna contour because I'm a little scared, so I'm just gonna leave it like that. And now for blush, I'm actually using this Morphe blush palette. This is the 9B blush palette, and I am going to go in. I'm gonna go in with this kind of mauve-y kind of blush. Just gonna lightly dust that in. But if you ever go too overboard with your blush, just go in with the brush that you kind of wiped off your translucent powder with and kind of just go on top, and voila, you erased your mistakes. And then for highlights, I'm actually gonna go in the same palette. I'm gonna go in with the shade Trailblazer, just because it's a little darker, and I feel like that would go a lot better with my skin tone. Oh yeah, I like that. Okay, hello. This is the Morphe M501 brush. Boom. Then I'm gonna go in with some translucent powder and just perfect. And then to finish off the eye, I'm just gonna go in with the shade Mulberry, which was kind of like that cranberry dark brown shade. And I'm just gonna go ahead and use my Morphe G27 brush, and I'm going to put that right on our lower lash line. And now to brighten up my eye, I'm just going in with my Maybelline Gigi Hadid white gel eyeliner. And then for mascara, I'm just gonna go ahead and use my Bad Gal Bang right on my lower lash line as well. And I'm going to really coat them. I really want that wispy kind of spidery lower lash. And then to highlight the inner corner, I'm actually gonna go in with the shade Fairy, and I'm going to put that on my inner corner. Ooh. And now for lips, I'm actually gonna go in with a duo, an old classic duo that I love. This is my Milani lip liner in Spice and Anastasia Beverly Hills Liquid Lip in Ashton. I feel like this color would go beautiful with the bronzy tones on her eye. So I'm just gonna go ahead and fill in my lips and put on the liquid lipstick. And yeah guys, that's it for today's video. That's it for this look. This is the completed look. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, make sure to give it a big thumbs up and subscribe down below for more videos, which should be every week when I'm gonna try. It was definitely a lot of fun using new makeup and kind of doing a first impression. And yeah, I think that's all that I have to say. I think I said everything that I had to say during this entire video. Doing an outro for a video that I talked through is a little weird, so sorry about that if I'm being weird. I don't know. But yeah guys, I love you. Make sure to comment down below on any videos that you'd like to see me do, any challenges, because I want to do challenges, I want to do fun things. And yeah, that's about it. I feel like I'm rambling. I've talked enough. I kind of want to get off the camera and just edit this and put it up for you guys. So love ya. See you next time. Mwah. I hate when I do my hair like this. Like I feel the 90s vibe, but then like I also feel like I look like I have a long ass head. Oh, everything hurts. Fuck.
Why is it so hot?